Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So one of the biggest questions I get regularly is how do I make silver in this game and what do I do? So once a month I like to make a video talking about what I do because every month it changes depending on what events are happening and everything. So July is a big month for basically everyone, especially endgame players, because the sovereign weapon offhand is coming out next month, so that's a lot of preparing to do, and we're going to be talking about that. But also, we recently had the Heidel ball, and we have events going on like 1000% XP and 100% life skill XP plus 100% drop rate. So it's a pretty big time to be doing stuff and playing the game. So I wanted to talk about some of the things I do and what has changed throughout last month. You guys can watch the June version. This one is July. So to give you an idea, before we talk about it, at the start of the month, I had like a few thousand Caphras, not that many, and then we didn't have a PEN Blackstar. We're going for the Sovereign offhand. This is more like endgame stuff. And we are currently at, we're almost Sovereign offhand ready. We have one pen in the storage, and of course we'll be using the other one to convert to the offhand. And what I'm doing right now is saving up my silver and then also grinding plus saving for a mix of 20,000 Caphras. We have 18,000, so we're basically almost done, and I'm actually glad because every time I look at Caphras, there's like more orders. So earlier this morning, there's about 130,000, which was actually kind of surprising. People are figuring it out, but yeah, this is why I like to talk about it, because it helps people get an advantage of what they're doing. So with that said, I made a little bit of a list on things that I do and what I have been doing. So I'll share my secrets, even though they're not really a secret. First and foremost, what I do every day is Imperial delivery. So I do guru boxes. I made a set so I could show you how it works. And you see this number over here. The amount you could turn in every day is 231. That number is calculated by your contribution points divided by 2. And you make more silver based on your mastery. So tips I can give you if you're thinking about doing Imperial delivery: try to get your cooking to guru and boost your mastery up as high as possible. So I have a Tet ladle, which is extra mastery along with a cook's clothes. And here are things you guys can do as well. 100 extra mastery from your Stella Stone. I'm not really sure how worth it is. I just kind of have it. But aside from that, make sure to put it on your Con's Heart. So like pop this one, then turn on your Con's Heart for life. So 2330. And let me turn this in before I do anything. So you see how 0 silver turned in 230, 298. So after taxes, I would say it cost me about 130 million silver to make the boxes, and that's a little bit of mixing of me gathering and my nodes and then cooking it. So after that, it's about 150 mil profit every day, 5 minutes or less. And here are some extra tips you guys can use. Vel's or Con's Heart for plus 25. If you don't have the ladle, I'd highly recommend doing that. Mastery crystals for life skills. This gives you another 160. That should be at least 3 brackets, and that's it's an overall investment, and it just helps with Imperial delivery. So if you're doing life skilling, it doesn't matter what kind, you should probably have a full set of mastery, and then I have life ones for other stuff, but mastery is overall better. I would recommend that. And then I do have cooking mastery for my light stones. So this one is a little bit of a setup, but 3 stir plus 1 iridescent for plus 30 mastery could help you push you up into a new bracket. If so, that's good. And with that said, now that we turned in all of that, I can put on regular gear again. And so, yeah, every day, Imperial delivery. Now you can do Imperial alchemy. This one, on the other hand, I am not sure if it's profit. I haven't really done the math of all of this yet, so it does not seem like it's profit, or if it is, it's very minimal. So keep that in mind. But cooking is significant profit. You want to do this one at least every day. If you don't do alchemy, that's fine. I think the only time people do alchemy is when they have a lot of extras, because back in the day we used to use all this, and I should probably do it, but I'm lazy. All right, so plus 150 mil profit every day. What's next? What do I do? So after that, what I would normally do is do Pit of the Undying every day. So you do this one, Pit of the Undying. What it does is it allows you to get Seals of the Undying from, I guess, depending on the difficulty you do. So when you go in, you get 5 quests. You pick one. Difficulty 1 to 5, like pry to pen, essentially. And then the higher difficulty gives you more Cron stones, or like Seals of the Undying. And then I could turn those seals into Cron stones every day. So you could get like roughly 60 to 100 something every day. And it's nice. Like 10 minutes of your time, free 100 Cron stones. I will say the pen difficulty is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. You do what you do to get Cron stones. Recommend it every day, free Cron stones, and it just adds up over time. The next thing, what I've been doing for July is I've been doing a lot of life skills. So currently at 30 G36 gathering, and the life skills I've been doing the most are probably gathering, fishing, cooking, processing, and a little bit of farming, but that's a different story. So gathering I do for the Imperial deliveries, and also I have to make I do a little bit of alchemy to make my harmonies, and a few other elixirs that I use when gathering. So overall, alchemy is for self-use, but cooking is mostly profit, and Imperial delivering, which we just did. So gathering, I talked about this in another video. If you're just going for silver, the most important gathering tools you should be using are probably fluid collecting and butcher knife. These two are high silver if you just sell the raw materials to the market, but if you actually use the materials, you can get more. Everything else is more for like XP, or you're crafting other things to use, but it's not necessarily the highest silver. So they're all good. It's just, I think fluid collecting, butchering for straight silver is the way to go. And so if you're thinking about doing that, check out the other video that I talked about all life skills and tell you why. Fishing is fishing. Everyone knows what it is. You make billions of silver, and basically if you have what I would recommend for you guys is to have another character and have that character placed at wherever you're fishing. So admittedly, I just have like scuffed life skill gear, but the important things I probably think are the fishing chair for auto fishing time, and fisher's clothes. More mastery is better. And of course, as much mastery as you can, but my main life skill gear is on my main because I'm too lazy to swap it out. But maybe one day it'll be an all-in-one. All right, so yeah, aside from fishing, we all know it's very profitable. Cooking and alchemy are more for the things I do for myself, and farming is just one of those things you set and then you go on again. The next thing I've been doing is grinding. Everyone grinds in this game, but also it's important to do this now because a lot of the things I've been doing personally was going for Caphras stones and then another PEN Blackstar. So at the start of the month, I guess I've been preparing for this a little bit in June as well, because we kind of figured it was coming. But in about, I would say, 2 weeks, I made, what is this? Probably 45-ish. Wait, how much is all this? 10,000 is 30 billion, another that. So I probably started with some, but about 45 billion in Caphras over 2 weeks, and then enough to straight out just buy a PEN Blackstar. So that was about 110, 120 billion silver in 2 weeks. It's not the most, but at my stage of the game, it's an okay amount. So my goal is basically 5 bill a day. Obviously I could do a lot more if I played more, but just minimum 5 bill a day and I'm doing fine. So yeah, they're also giving out hammers throughout the month, plus the Heidel ball that gave you a lot of crons and everything. So today we got another hammer and 2 more hammers throughout the next 2 weeks. So for all of you worried and panicking that you were not going to be able to get like another PEN Blackstar or something, don't worry. Trust me, look at this. People are probably going to be selling. Just make sure to check the recent queue or check the sub weapons for your Blackstars, and chances are that people will be listing their Blackstars, and I think that it's actually going to go down. And if you look at this, it's like, you see this curve right here? This at the peak was 100 billion. It's down to like 85, and then it went up a little bit because people are panicking. But then they give Jay's hammers to everybody, so people are going to inevitably get a PEN Blackstar by one-tapping it, and then they're going to sell it. So if I had to guess, in the next 2 weeks, you could probably get it for like 70-ish billion, assuming, you know, people will decide to sell them. So a little bit of patience in the next 2 weeks, and you could probably get it for low 70s or 70. So yeah, that's how I did that. The next videos that I've done recently are some grind spots, and I showed you how much Caphras I make an hour doing that, and I'll leave a link in the description if you're curious to those. But some of the important spots that I chose were, let's see, in Odalita, we did Dekia, Thornwood. This is about 250 Caphras an hour. If you add Ancient Spirit Dust as well, plus Raw, and you get a lot of Ominous Rings this year. So I think this is a very solid spot. You do have to have a little bit of gear. Low key, I think you can get into Dekia Thornwood with under 310. It's more of like, do you have 950 total AP? And that's super easy to obtain, even as a mid-tier player, assuming you're full buffed. Like, I have 1,000, and I'm in straight life skill buffs right now. So here's how you could get yours to over 1,000. One, obviously using a harmony is a lot more, and of course perfume, and then you could probably just use all the extra buffs that they give you as well. Tent buff, church buffs. You should be able to clear 950 super easily, even if you're even if you're like 300-ish AP, 290-ish. As long as you have decent crystals and you're full buff, you should be able to clear that pretty easily. So with that said, another spot that I grinded, and I did a video earlier, was down in Kama Sylvia, Gyphon Underground. Now this one has a lower gear requirement, and I actually feel like it's a lot easier. You can get in way below 290. I've seen people do this on seasonal characters at like 250. So was that efficient? No, but you can do it then. So this spot, around 200 Caphras an hour. It's a little bit less than Dekia Thornwood. However, this is a very strong EXP spot, so you'll get a lot of other things on the side. I got like 5 accessories an hour, 200 of these, and a bunch of trash loot. So it was about like a 1.5 plus bill an hour grind spot, which is not too bad actually. But ultimately, very solid spot. I think if I have a few more videos that I want to do for Caphras grind spots to help you guys out, to show you what it's really like. And yeah, so those are what I've been doing. A few more things that I would like to recommend to you guys and let you know what's happening. So events we have going on right now is we currently have the Black Shrine Bosses event going on. So what do? You basically accept a quest from the Black Spirit, and you have to do 3 of the party bosses. And this is more for geared players, but it's like you do this and you get a free billion silver. So if you've done it normally, you just get more silver, adds to your total. Very cool. And make sure to do your weekly bosses, because I made a video once showing you how much silver I actually make doing party bosses and the solo one. So like, even if you only do 8, 9, and 10, just level 1 of them, you get a lot of Essence of Dawn, silver, and all that stuff. So it's definitely worth it. Plus you can save up to get these little token thingies, and then eventually get more titles and all that stuff. Very cool, right? So to say you've done it, And yeah, still working on some of these, but over time, you just get them. So it's about 10 to 20 bill a week if you do your black shrines. Most of them come from, you know, party bosses, but if you can do 8, 9, and 10, it helps a lot. Here are some tips that I can give you. So, you know how it requires 330 to 350 AP? And let's say you are a little bit under 330. One of the tips I can give you is to use a maneuver, and this will give you plus 11 AP, even if there's no Caphras in it, more if you do. So that should boost you up into the range of being able to enter and doing it. So if you're like 315, 320, and you don't have enough to entry level it, you could use a maneuver. And I have tested maneuver to see how much more challenging it is to do it with the less AP against monsters, less survivability with less DP and everything. And trust me, if you're doing 8, 9, and 10, it's more of a mechanics check for a lot of things anyway. So if you're going to get one-shotted, it doesn't matter if you have 430 DP or you have like 400 DP. Chances are you're getting one-shotted by a lot of things anyway. So I've done it with both Blackstar and maneuver, so it's fine. Other things I want to talk about, we currently have the festival thing. This one is kind of old, but you get some nice stuff. RBF, do your RBF daily, and it's like 200 mil plus some perfumes for when you're grinding. Always nice to do. And some weekly quests I would recommend to all of you are do your Garmoth 3 times a week. You may not get a Garmoth. I haven't gotten a Garmoth's heart in like 3 years, but make sure to do them. Apparently soon they are going to up the drop rate of, what are these? These Garmoth Bloodstone. You get 10 of them. You turn it in for a heart. And they're going to raise the drop rate of them. I think that's a good idea because I've been doing Garmoth 3 times a week, almost every week. And I've gotten a total of 6 of them over like, since this came out 2 years ago or something. It's not great. So yeah, glad they're raising the drop rate on that one. So make sure to start doing them as of next week, or even just start doing them now. And if you have enough gear, make sure to do your weekly bosses. And if you don't know where they are, it's in the morning light. So yeah, there's one over here, the Bulgasil boss, and then Sangoon, Golden Pig, and Uturi is somewhere here. What I'd recommend doing is, because they're kind of spread out, is what I did was I have a character in every boss and just leave them there, collect your rewards. And if you're not at the point of Sovereign, like Sovereign, you don't have your main hand or Awakening yet, what you could do is start saving and collecting the, what are these things? Embers. This is not used for the offhand. You can use them for main and Awakening, but not offhand. So if you're not at that stage, get 100 of these plus a Blackstar and then exchange it. Easy Sovereign. The hard part about Sovereign is upgrading. So a little bit off topic. A lot of people ask me how to go about gear progression, and they're like, should I go Sovereign or should I go like all my Blackstars pen first? I would say all your Blackstars pen first, because that'll give you an easy path, and then it's not just going like ramping. And realistically, Sovereign is endgame because it's very expensive to enhance. It's very hard to enhance as well with low enhancement success rates. Like if you look at this, me going from Oct to Nav is 165 for pity, and it's not great. So yeah, I'd recommend like small gains before jumping straight into Sovereign, if that makes sense. Just trust me on that, you'll thank me later. And so a few other things that I do. Do your Black Shrine, make sure to pick up this quest as well. It just gives you another one. It's the equivalent of doing these, but you get another bonus one. And if you do these do add up eventually. So if you're just doing them to sell infinite potions, I'm lazy, but some people actually do them, and it is kind of profitable. Blood Wolves is a very solid one. I would say Renaros isn't too bad if you're at like the 240-ish AP zone. Same with blood wolves. If you get the orange eye thingy, you could turn it into like the end game crystals that people use. I think Shuriken Necropolis is a decent spot as well. The other ones kind of feel bad, like the Shira runes is awful, but you know, you do what you got to do. And so yeah, those are some of the quests that I would recommend for all of you guys. And then make sure to pick up a quest from here. Do the weeklies if you can. And like, let me show you. These weekly quests give to Floramos petals, and you could turn into petals for, like, you can exchange them, the petals, with these catalysts, and then you turn them into a secret book of Florins. And believe it or not, these secret books are actually worth a lot. So if you do any life skilling, 100 mastery is more than you may think it is, because getting 100 mastery elsewhere is billions of silver. So having these when you're going on and just extra XP, it adds up over time. So I think it's worth it, in my opinion. So make sure to start doing the weeklies for that one. And I think that might be it. That's like my routine daily. It probably sounds like a chore, but at the end of the day, like, even I think I play maybe 2 to 3 hours a day, which could be a lot, or it could be not as much. But believe it or not, I don't play as much as people think I do, even though I've been playing for a long time. And even with casual play, making, like, my goal is just 5 billion silver a day, which is very low. I could do that in like 2 hours grinding. But overall, to not burn myself out, I still do a lot of other things. Have I been making over 5 bill a day? Yeah, a little bit. But at the end of the day, just do whatever you think is fun. You don't have to copy me. Don't copy any other streamer, YouTuber. If you like gathering all day, just gather all day. That's about it. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. That's all I wanted to talk about. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Drop in the comments. You can join the Discord. Everything's in the description as well. And I also have some recent videos that I talked about in the description of how to go about doing something and specializing in like the most recent stuff that they talked about. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Peace.